said they want to come with me to give me moral support, Your Honor. So I'm saying this because this is something that I've been doing lately, Your Honors.
Thank you for the explanation, Judge Daway. Let me accommodate some of the tweeted questions, if you do not mind.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is from, well, I will not mention anymore the one who sent this, but the question is, does greater transparency in the judiciary, including its budget, compromise independence?
I think in a way, Your Honors, greater transparency. There's a correlation between greater transparency in the budget and independence, Your Honors, because you're transparent in your budget, then you can also be more independent. Although the Constitution provides that every member of the judiciary must have also independence as one of his characteristic traits.
Another related question, Judge Daway, is, do you think it's unethical for a judge to accept special allowances from LGUs? Does it weaken his independence?
I believe, Your Honors, that the allowances from the LGUs are so authorized by law. But how I wish, Your Honors, that judges would not receive this, and that the appropriation for this be included in the budget of the Supreme Court, Your Honors.
Thank you. That was my final question. Good luck again, Judge Daway, and thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you so much, Attorney Mejia. I request now Attorney Guevara to continue.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Judge. Yes.
Good morning po, sir.
Yes, Judge. I noted that, as mentioned earlier, you have a zero backlog in your docket, court docket. But I also noted that sometime a couple of years ago that you were reprimanded by the Supreme Court for your inaction in a certain case. So could you please explain to us the circumstances surrounding this particular incident?
It's a case involving one, if I recall right, sir, it's a case involving one who had a condominium, and he charged his client association dues to the point that the association dues were already much higher than there was a very high amount that he led him to foreclose the condominium. Now, I issued, I think, I'm not so sure about that, if I issued a injunctive relief. But then there was a rule that this should be decided within six months. Now, the plaintiff tried to get evidence through documents from this, the defendant, the one who made this complaint against me. And he didn't want to give it because he said it got lost. But I said that I made a ruling that there is no reason for him to claim that because the other party was contesting this. And it dragged for more than 6 months. And he filed a complaint against me because he did not want to he didn't first file a complaint, but he alleged delay on the part of the plaintiff and also on the part of the court. I made a ruling that there is no delay considering the peculiar circumstances. Then he filed a complaint before the Supreme Court, and they said that I should have decided that within 6 months, but then they reprimanded me. But I accepted that reprimand because I was then being considered in the Court of Tax Appeals before, Your Honor. I did not anymore file a motion for reconsideration. But if the Lord God will allow me to be appointed as Justice of the Supreme Court, I think that rule regarding that, I will bring it up to the Supreme Court and bank so that that rule probably will be amended so that judges like me will not also suffer the same fate.
In addition to that proposal that you would like to take up with the Supreme Court in case you get appointed, is there any other agenda that you would like to bring with you in case you get appointed to the Supreme Court?
There will be many.
What are your plans? Should
There are
you get
many
appointed?
plans, Your Honors, because I've been a judge for a long, long time, and I'd like the Supreme Court to take a look also on other matters that they have that are so strictly applied against judges, Your Honors. God willing, I will be in a position to speak for the judges also, Your Honors. Then there are about 1,000 RTC judges all over the country if I got the records right, Your Honors.
Can you give us a couple of these particular issues or topics that you would probably bring to the attention of the Supreme Court on behalf of the many trial judges across the country?
Like, for instance, Your Honors, the matter of the certifications, I think there should be something there regarding there should be some qualifications regarding the monthly certifications that we sign every month for us to have our pay, Your Honors. And several others, Your Honors, which I'm sorry I could not just think of right now, Your Honors. And maybe it will be it will look trivial to the Supreme Court, but for judges like me, these are big matters, Your Honor.
Judge, how's the state of your health at present?
I'm in good health, Your Honors, by God's grace. I walk a lot, and I'm okay, Your Honors.
Yes, Judge, considering the very stressful work of a judge, and presumably it will be more stressful when a judge becomes a justice of an appellate court, how do you normally cope with stressful work or stress in general?
I have to do my work in the courtroom only, Your Honors, and during Saturdays and Sundays, I walk in the subdivision where we stay, and I go out with my family, Your Honors. And that's the way I survived the 27 years as RTC judge, Your Honors. I know for a fact that some RTC judges do not survive it. Just not recently. A 50-year-old died. That's what I heard in office. In Quezon City before, someone who's at 60 died while in office. So we have to be able to do something to also de-stress ourselves from the kind of work that we have, Your Honors.
Thank you, Judge. I have no further questions for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Attorney Guevara. And now, may I request Justice Lagman
Thank you very much, Madam
continue.
Chair.
Good morning, Justice.
Good morning, Judge. The record shows that we have interviewed you last May 30, 2014, and in fact, you were included in the short list.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we also interviewed you in 2003 and 2001. So I find no reason to further grill you on your qualifications. Thank you very much, and I wish you luck.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You're so kind.
Thank you very much. You are very lucky. I don't have any question also, Judge. Good luck.
Thank you very much, ma'am. But can I say one piece for you, ma'am? First of all, ma'am, I would like to say thank you to the council for having included me in the shortlist last year. I hope and pray that I'll have another chance to be considered by the President for appointment. And I know it will be a miracle from God, but miracles do still happen up to now. Thank you very much for your time, Your Honors.
So, good luck.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good morning. Good morning. Justice Punsalan Castillo. I noted that the last time you applied for the Supreme Court was in 2010. Since that time, there were several vacancies. In 2011, there were 2. In 2014, in fact, actually, 2012, there was another one, and in 2014. But this is the first time that you have reapplied. What made you decide to reapply now, and why? What took you so long to reapply again?
Because during the interval, I was trying to lower down my docket, and I was able to successfully have a zero docket now. And I was, Justice Javier prevailed upon me. She nominated me for the position, so I'm here now.
Why do you think she nominated you? She could have actually applied herself, but she decided to nominate you.
Family, not me personally.
Have there, considering that you are family members, have there not been any efforts to try to, resolve this issue?
There have been, but it's not amenable to any compromise.
So if you say that this is a purely family matter, which involves your in-laws, but you're being dragged into it with this opposition, and wouldn't this also be a concern later on that should you be appointed to the court that he will constantly, raise an issue of your integrity if the issue of those cases will not be resolved yet? You will constantly be dragged. So unless these things are resolved, it may posture as a problem, a continuous problem on your part.
Well, for me, as long as I'm innocent, and as long as I have fully explained in my comment the circumstances, and that those are just internet articles and baseless. So I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to be afraid of.
How do you manage? I noticed that in the submissions that you made that your husband is a politician.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
How are you able to maintain your independence, and act on cases independently, notwithstanding the fact that you have a husband who is involved in politics?
From the beginning, my husband and I reached an understanding. We decided that we belong to two different worlds. He belongs to the political world, and I, on my part, am very devoted to my job. And we agreed that neither will intrude upon the other. So far, so good.
Justice, are you involved in any particular committee in the Court of Appeals?
I am the chairperson of the Ethics Committee.
Okay, as chairperson of the Ethics Committee, how have you helped ensure that the ethical standards are maintained in the Court of Appeals? How do you conduct investigations involving members of your court, and to ensure the public that this is, because I know it's confidential, but that this is above board?
We are 5 in the committee, and then when a complaint is filed before our committee, we call the person and we allow him or her to file her comment, and then we deliberate on it, and then we make our recommendation to the presiding justice, and then it will be the presiding justice who will endorse our recommendation to the court administrator's office.
Throughout your chairmanship of the committee, has there anyone been sanctioned?
Yes, a lot.
A lot. And has this also helped improve, how the judges or justices conduct themselves in the Court of Appeals?
Again, please.
How has this improved how justices conduct themselves in the Court of Appeals?
Well, I think the employees of the Court of Appeals are aware that we really mean business, and that, but so far we have not received any complaint against a fellow justice. Only the personnel of the Court of Appeals.
Should there be a complaint against a justice, a fellow justice, particularly with respect to their morality, how would you deal with it?
I think it will not be referred to our committee at all. I think it will be the office of the, yes.
But what if it is brought to your committee? What would be the proper procedure for you to undertake?
I think we would invite him or her and inform him of the charge or accusation against him. And then we will give him his day in court.
But I thought you said that you have no authority to act on this.
Yes, but if that happens, but now, as of now, there has been no complaint yet against a fellow justice.
Would you be inclined to forward the same immediately to the Supreme Court?
We will forward it to the presiding justice, and it will be the presiding justice who will endorse it to the Supreme Court.
So what if the endorsement is not made? If it sleeps there?
I think he has to, but the PJ has to, because everything will be in paper, on paper, so we will make our recommendation on paper, and then there is a space there for his approval, so I think he has to, it's mandatory for him to act on it.
How do you treat, when it comes to personnel, no court personnel, how do you treat anonymous complaints that would give some degree of information that would allow you to proceed with an investigation, even if it's an anonymous complaint?
That is quite hard if it's an anonymous complaint, but we can make some fact-finding investigation, we can ask around. That's the first step, if it's an anonymous complaint, but usually it's not. Usually the complaints reaching our committee involve quarrels, petty quarrels, or dishonesty among the employees themselves.
So seldom does it happen that there are complaints regarding morality of your
Only once, I think, but it was filed by a fellow employee.
Okay. My final question, Justice. Why are you taking an interest? You know, I mean, not this, of course, you were endorsed by Justice Ami, but I'm wondering why the special interest right now to aspire for the Supreme Court.
You know, ma'am, I think I'm not speaking for all justices and judges, but I think majority of us, it's our dream to be a member of the highest court of the land. It's an honor.
As I mentioned, that was my last question. Good luck, Justice. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you so much, Attorney Cayosa. May I now request Attorney Mejia to continue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning.
Good morning.
Justice Castillo.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Just a few questions. Yesterday, one of the applicants mentioned and suggested that in order, one of the ways to radically hasten the disposition of cases is to do away with the motion for reconsideration. What are your thoughts on that?
I think we cannot do away with the motion for reconsideration because we have to allow the judge or the justice or any tribunal or quasi-judicial body to correct itself, to have a chance to correct itself.
My next question is a tweeted question. Apparently, the public is monitoring and watching our proceedings. What is your religious belief? Does it affect your disposition for certain cases or for a certain case?
I'm a Roman Catholic, Your Honor, and well, of course, religion should not be, it has never been a consideration in deciding cases. Cases should be decided based only on law and jurisprudence. So, it's purely personal on my part, my religion, but I will not allow it to interfere with my decision making.
Are you in favor of mandatory legal aid service? How about a tax incentive for legal aid lawyers?
Like the senior citizens, I think we should also give a tax incentive, even a small one, to counsels de officio.
That's all, and good luck again, Justice Castillo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. May I request now Attorney Guevara.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good morning, Justice.
Good morning.
Justice, you earlier stated that, like most judges and justices of appellate courts, it will be a great personal honor to cap your career by being appointed in the Supreme Court. Obviously, because of the prestige of reaching the highest court of the land. Could you please tell us if that is the only motivation for you to aspire for a seat in the Supreme Court?
Well, I think I have already proven my worth as a judge, and I want to leave an imprint, and I want to have I want the honor to be able to contribute to case law.
Other than that, do you have any personal agenda, let's say innovative changes that you'd like to introduce into the Supreme Court once you get appointed to the position?
I think I will just continue to do what I am doing now. I will strive to finish my cases as I will try to finish as many cases as possible, but quality, of course, should not be sacrificed for quantity.
The records before me state, Justice, that you have a 100% affirmance. Is that correct? I mean, your decisions in the Court of Appeals being affirmed completely, 100% by the Supreme Court?
I think there's a certification to that effect by the CAMIS of the Case Management Office of the Court of Appeals.
Well, I'd like to
I think
congratulate
so.
you for that, Justice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But, can you just inform us of any decision personally rendered by you which might have become case law or a landmark decision of the Supreme Court, if you can remember any?
As of now, I cannot remember any. What I know is that there have been only a few cases appealed to the Supreme Court, which I decided. Just a few.
Yes. And
but I cannot remember anymore.
I see. And all of these were affirmed by the Supreme Court.
Thankfully, yes.
Justice, you have been in the practice of law for 36 years, according to your personal data sheet.
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't you feel any sense of approaching a level of burnout, if you may say so?
Not yet. I'm only 61, so I consider myself still young. Young at heart and young in mind.
All right. Well, that's good to hear, Justice. There's a certain light question here coming from the public through Twitter. And the question says, did you happen to watch the last Miss Universe pageant, Justice?
Not the whole, just the portion where the MC committed
made a mistake.
Yes.
But during the interview, I didn't see it myself, but during the interview of our representative to that pageant, I think a question was asked to her about the presence, if let's say U.S. military bases would be restored in the Philippines, how would you feel about it? And her answer was, we had a long history of friendship with the United States, and very casually she said that she would welcome U.S. military bases again in the Philippines in case a move towards that end is taken by the Philippine government. So the Twitter question says, if you happen to meet this contestant of ours who's now Miss Universe, what would you probably tell her regarding that answer?
I would tell her that it is unconstitutional. I would tell her it is unconstitutional.
I have no further questions for the Justice. Thank you very much, Justice.
Thank you so much, Attorney Guevara. And now may I request Justice Lagman. It's your turn.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Justice Castillo, good morning.
Yes.
I
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
few questions here. Justice Castillo, what are your thoughts on moral fitness as one of the criteria in selecting the members of the Judiciary, most especially members of the Supreme Court?
Well, it is definitely a criterion, the moral fitness.
So-
yes, because we have seen already what happened to those judges who were dismissed based on immorality and questionable transactions. So, and we must always remember that we are deciding sensitive cases, and we should be able to decide without fear or favor.
Okay. If you are a member of the JBC, how are you going to determine the moral fitness of an applicant?
Well, you will have at your disposal our personal data sheet, the history of, our employment, and I suppose you have questionnaires circulated, yes, in the Court of Appeals or in other offices. So I think through those means you can already assess whether an applicant is morally fit or really qualified for the position.
How about delicadeza, Justice Castillo? What do you use the meaning of delicadeza?
Well, if, for example, in a case you are related to one of the parties or the counsel, I think you really have to inhibit yourself to avoid any impression of bias. That's one aspect of delicadeza. Inhibition. Another is, of course, there are so many limitations on members of the judiciary. We are prohibited, we're not really prohibited, but we cannot go to places like casinos. It's also delicadeza not to go to those places even if nobody sees you.
Okay. What is your opinion on the practice of some judges and justices of inhibiting themselves from trying a case on the ground of pressure from influential people?
I don't think it's a ground for inhibition, because when you become a judge, you must be ready to be under pressure.
And how do you handle pressure in your work now as a member of the Court of Appeals?
I play the piano or the guitar depending on my mood. I read books on my Kindle. I watch YouTube, and I go to the grocery.
How do you handle a situation when a very influential person, for example, somebody who helped you in your appointment, talk to you and ask you to decide a case in his or her favor or in favor of his or her constituents? How do you handle that situation?
Maybe it's like you're referring to an utang na loob?
Yeah.
Like that. Oh. I think, as a judge, at the end of the day, it will be my responsibility. If I affix my signature on something, it will be my responsibility alone and nobody else's. So, when you say utang na loob, I think, well, in my case, I have been appointed by 4 presidents already, starting from President Marcos, President Ramos, President Estrada, and then President Arroyo. But I think I have already repaid my utang na loob by being a good judge, by doing my job well. I think that's my concept of utang na loob. I don't have to give in to the pressure or the request of somebody to whom I owe my appointment.
Now let's go to another point. What are your thoughts, Justice, on judicial activism?
Reform?
Yeah, judicial activism, which is being used by some members of the judiciary as a mechanism or as a check and balance on the perceived excesses of the legislative and executive branches of government.
Like in what aspect?
Judicial activism is that the personal feelings or the personal belief of the judge making the decision is used as a basis in deciding a case.
not based on law and jurisprudence?
Based on law, but, yes, based on law and jurisprudence, but the judge, the personal feelings, personal interpretation of the judge on this, based on certain issues presented before him, is included in the decision. That is what they call judicial activism.
His personal opinion.
Yes, the personal opinion, the personal assessment of the judge or the justice deciding the case.
Well, I think
Because they say that this judicial activism is being used as a mechanism to check the excesses of the legislative or executive branch. Because there are times when the law itself is not sufficient to justify a ruling. So the personal belief and interpretation of the judge or the justice is included in the decision to strengthen.
I think there's nothing wrong with it, but I will try it myself. One of these days I will try.
So you have not tried it?
I have not tried it.
Okay. So, how about judicial candor? Are you familiar with judicial candor?
Openness.
Openness in the decision. Because there are judges who are found to be guilty of dishonesty in the decision when they deliberately do not include the strong points in the case.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's it. And they are found guilty of.
I believe in candor, definitely.
Okay. With your experience in the judiciary, what do you think can you contribute to further improve the image of the Supreme Court if you will be fortunate to be nominated and appointed to that court? What can you contribute?
My hardworking quality and my diligence, my competence. I think I have already proven myself through my 36 years in government service, 22 years of which have been spent in the judiciary.
Okay, my last question. What do you think are your strengths and weaknesses, both as a person and as a member of the judiciary?
My strengths, I can sit the whole day and read. That's why I make decisions faster than the others, I think. I don't mind sitting the whole day and the whole night studying.
How about your weakness?
What?
How about your weakness? What do you think is your weakness?
As a judge?
As a person.
As a person?
Which also affects the performance of your function as a justice.
I cry easily, if you can call it a weakness. But I do not involve my emotions when I decide cases. But I cry easily.
That's your
movies. Yes, even watching cartoons sometimes. When I watched Casper, I cried.
So how about the cases that you are handling? Do you allow yourself to be affected?
No, that's why I do not involve my emotions. Because when I was in the RTC, it was a special court to try drug-related cases. It made me tough during those 2 years.
Okay. So on that note, I have no further question for Justice Castillo. Good luck, Justice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much, Justice Lagman. This is a follow-up question. You stated a while ago that allowing the U.S. military bases again here in the Philippines is unconstitutional. What's your reason for saying so?
It is stated in the Constitution that there should be no military base unless
Yes, what is the exception? Unless concurred in
concurred
by
by
the
the
Senate,
Senate and the Congress.
or if Congress requires,
Yes.
concurred in, approved by the people in a
National plebiscite.
plebiscite called for that purpose. Justice, how about this EDCA? The EDCA case is now pending decision by the Supreme Court. If you are one of the members and the ponente, how will you decide the case?
It's the enhanced
EDCA.
enhanced defense cooperation agreement. It's an executive agreement. Well, practically, it's really like a base. But
Ratified by the President, not by the Senate. So, is it constitutional or unconstitutional?
if, strictly speaking, no. Well, the Supreme Court can pass on the constitutionality of an executive agreement.
You are the ponente there. You are the ponente in the Supreme Court.
I think I would declare it unconstitutional.
Why?
Because, well, the U.S. personnel and troops are here because of that, and structures are being built to store their weapons. And
Again, your basis is the Constitution.
yes, Your Honor.
Remember, Justice, China is around,
Yes.
ready to declare war of aggression against us. Would you not consider the fact that at least if the American bases are here, these Chinese people who are so aggressive will have a second thought? I think there will be no unanimous votes in the Supreme Court. This is my opinion. Because of this incident.
Because China is really a bully right now.
Precisely because of that. So thank you, Justice, and good luck.
Thank you, Your Honors.